Newsmax TV's post-debate special continues. Welcome back. I'm J.D. Hayworth. Immigration, a hot topic tonight, and one that really set up the fault line that I think is showing up in the results of our Newsmax poll that so many of you have taken a part in. We'll monitor that in a second. Right now, we want to welcome in the news director for the Tea Party News Network, Scottie Nell Hughes, who joins us from Nashville, Tennessee, and we are rejoined from Newsmax, New York, by Steve Malzberg. Scottie, Nell, our first chance to visit with you tonight. We'd like you to listen along with Steve, and I'll join in as well. We're going to take another look at Ted Cruz on the subject of illegal immigration.
I am the son of an immigrant who came legally from Cuba to seek the American dream. And we can embrace legal immigrations while believing in the rule of law. And I would note, try going illegally to another country. Try going to China or Japan. Try going to Mexico. See what they do.
And so you hear Ted Cruz there, and tonight, kind of in league with Donald Trump yet again, they seem to make an effective case against illegal immigration, Scottie.
They absolutely do. And I'll tell you, Ted Cruz once again hit it out of the park on this. As he pointed out, I am a son of an illegal immigration. So all of you folks sitting here and talking about it, you've not experienced. I'm a part of it. I have seen the American dream, and my father still was able to give it to me. Here's one thing I do want to point out that I wish one of these candidates would say. Why are we always talking about families being ripped apart and sending these people back, the illegals back across the border? Why don't we talk about the families being ripped apart when the dads come illegally into the United States and leave their families, or when the mothers put their children on buses illegally to come over to the United States? Why don't we talk about those families that they're choosing to rip apart? Why do we care about ripping apart the families here and sending the illegals back home?
Well, the point you raised, Scottie, Nell, is one that is often raised by denizens on the left and the open borders crowd within the Republican Party. And here's the other point I would make, Steve Malzberg, about that. It's the fact that families don't have to be ripped apart. Families can stay together and be compassionately returned to their country of origin in a humane fashion. Which brings us back, Steve, to Donald Trump invoking the memory of Dwight David Eisenhower. The establishment crowd looks at Ike as the ultimate moderate and the get things done guy. Did he really rock back the establishment by proffering the example of Dwight Eisenhower returning illegals to Mexico?
I thought it was a great moment for Donald Trump. I don't know how it's going to resonate and how many people are going to talk about it after the fact, but you and I certainly, for two, picked up on that, and I thought it was very strong, and nobody had any retort for that. Certainly the people who opposed Donald Trump, like Kasich and Bush, didn't weigh in on that and go after him or try to tear it down, so they respected it. But, you know, Ted Cruz, getting back to Ted Cruz in support of Donald Trump's plan, you know, and saying we have to be a nation of laws. Cruz said that if we join the Democrats as the party of amnesty, we will lose. And he also, and this was an economic debate, don't forget, talked about the economic calamity that we face if we don't solve the illegal immigrant problem and keep these people here and keep allowing more to come in.
Scottie, now, as you watch this tonight, and it really did delineate rather quickly on the topic of illegal immigration to Trump and Cruz versus Bush and Kasich. That dynamic at work tonight, how badly does it hurt Governors Bush and Kasich?
Well, I think it doesn't hurt them within their base, but as we've shown, their base is not the majority of the Republican Party, hence why they're at the bottom of the polls. And I think tonight we saw Kasich and Bush won a ticket to the kitty debate in the next round. Neither one of them are scoring well outside of Karl Rove giving them compliments. But yet on the other side, people like Cruz, people like Trump. What's interesting about this is the no man's land. Where does Marco Rubio fall? People are saying he had an excellent debate night. However, he sides more with the Kasich and the Jeb. And people are wondering, maybe he is going to be the hero of the establishment and the hero of the pro-immigration crowd when it comes to this. Because right now, tonight, he's the one that everybody's saying did great. But his views are obviously more like the Bush and the Kasichs.
Steve Malzberg, about a minute left, and you know, you take a look at the Republican Party. It used to be the fault line was conservatives versus moderates. Now you've got grassroots versus the establishment. And you take a look at what Scottie's mentioning here, and I'm getting the buzz from K Street and in D.C. that Marco is replacing Jeb as the establishment favorite. Will doubts continue to swirl around Marco Rubio based on his embrace of the Gang of Eight and amnesty?
And you and I talked about this a little bit before, and I think she's exactly right. It's a fine line he's walking, and it's a very dangerous line that he's walking. Look, he's got the billionaire donors, but the billionaire donors, for the most part, favor immigrants coming into this country and certainly not sending them back. He's going to have to come out and tell us what he believes once and for all, sooner or later, if he's going to advance through this primary season. And I don't know where he's going to fall, because he's been all over the place on this issue. Gang of Eight, etc., tries to pull back from that association, but we don't know exactly where he is.
Well, we know, Steve Malzberg, you're going to stand by in Newsmax New York, and Scottie Nell standing by via Skype from Nashville.